Okay, Mel Rudmore here, and I am back talking about Big Brother Season 24. And I really thought I was done. I really did. Because I have never seen any show get off to as bad a start as this one has. And, I'd be hard pressed to call it good now, but there's some hope now, maybe a little, possibly, almost. But yeah, I thought I was done doing these streams because the treatment that Taylor got from these people was just appalling. I mean, God's sake, less than a week, there were very widely known publications, like not just Big Brother related stuff, but like Variety did an article about how problematic Big Brother was. The Today Show did something about it. At least they came out with an article about it. I don't know if they did anything on the actual Today Show, but I saw something like their Twitter had something talking about it. And it's like, it just started. How are you already this controversial? That's my air conditioner coming on. If you are, I don't even know if you can hear it, but if you can, it's hot. So it's staying on. Deal with it. So just, I just don't like seeing people get ganged up on like Taylor did. Like she just had nobody. No one would even let her socialize. And like, I have trouble. Like, I wasn't sure if I want to say I struggle or I have trouble, so it came out as I don't, whatever. Point is, I have trouble socializing myself. I do stand up comedy. I always like to, like, when I go to an open mic, always good to mingle, like, make connections with people. And that's the part I'm not good at. So, yeah, it's like I can't even get my foot in the door sometimes, and no one would let Taylor get her foot in the door in regards to game talk. There were a couple of people who really stood out. Might as well start at the top. Lights flickered. That was fun. Uh, yes. Let's start at the top with Daniel, the HOH, or as I like to call him, Smell This. He just like let's ignore the fact that he participated in the microaggressions too. He was an embarrassingly weak HOH. He really was. I mean, he just had no backbone of his own. He did not want to do anything that would upset the house. It's like, dude, you're the HOH. Make your case, make him live with it. You know? And like he just most annoying part was watching him keep trying to justify to himself that it was okay to let there be two black people on the chopping block come eviction night. Like he was so concerned with that not looking racist and trying to explain how it wasn't racist that it came off super racist. Like I saw a still from The Office going around from like some kind of sensitivity training episode they did, and it's just Steve Carell wearing a, a post-it note on his head that says Martin Luther King. That's basically what it was. Just that level of awareness. Oh, but Monty was like, "No, it's okay, don't worry about it." He just had to keep getting approval from Monty several times over, I might add. And to me, it's like put up your biggest threats. You know, don't let race come into it. Put up two strong, threatening house guests who just happen to be black, and I'll be like, okay, I see it. But the problem is he puts up Taylor, the one no one wants to talk to, and Terrence, the oldest contestant, and it's like, how are these two threats? Neither of them have won anything. It's like I don't know. It made no sense, and he just kept talking himself into a deeper hole. And and anytime I see him in an update now, I call him Smellvis if I respond to it because that's just it. His gameplay stinks. So Smellvis. I'm still trying to make it catch on. Hasn't caught on yet. Uh, I mentioned Monty. He was a total scumbag for like ratting the information Taylor gave him out to Paloma. Like Taylor told you because she wanted to work with you, and you just rat her out immediately. Like even if you don't want to work with her, you should like retain that information, and if the time is right for you to come forward with it, then you do so. But no, he just went right for it, ratted her out instantly, not a second thought. It was stupid. And that just spiraled into Paloma making the whole house turn on Taylor, even more than Paloma and Jasmine already had, just because their jealousy is like the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. I just spit all over the place. Oh my god, I got it on the screen. Oh god, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh, I still have some on the mouse. That's fun. But yeah, Paloma and Jasmine, their pettiness was just excruciating to watch. It was like, how are you both this intimidated by her? What does she even do to you? By their own admission, they didn't like her on site. And Daniel also said, I took one look at her and I didn't trust her. You know what my first reaction to Taylor was when I saw her doing that strut walking up to the podium she had to go to for that first challenge? I saw her doing that walk and I'm like, whoa, this is someone I want to work with. She has confidence. And they were all intimidated by that. And I'm like, so what you're saying is I could have become Taylor's best friend in that house? Could I have become a showmance with Taylor if I was in there? Probably not. I don't want to get that far ahead of myself. But I mean, I would have a better shot than any of those guys. She better not end up with any of these guys. I'd be so mad. They don't deserve her. But yeah, Paloma, Jasmine, just their jealousy was just, it's like, how are you both adults? You know? I just didn't get it. And I was ready to just write the whole thing off. But then the feeds went down. And it wasn't just the we'll be right back screen, it was the pet cams, which is what goes up when the feeds are going to be down for a while, usually due to a competition. And, at first I was just like, this is probably nothing. They might be studying for a quiz that's going to be for the next HOH competition, something like that. Nope. The rumors started to come out from rather reliable sources that Paloma had left the game. She had been in the diary room for a couple of hours when the feeds went down. All throughout the game, she just been like, at least the last few days she was there, she was just like going insane. She just wasn't sleeping. She was talking crazy. Like, as much as I did not care for Paloma and her treatment of Taylor, it became apparent to me that something was wrong with her. And yeah, she she left. I think she should not have been brought in the first place. I'm sorry. Like this isn't like Megan and BB19 where just it just piled on repeatedly for her, and she just had her PTSD trigger. Like Paloma was very well positioned in the house, so yeah, like Paloma had some stuff going on that she didn't properly address before she got on the show. And just seeing everyone come together and like just wish her the best with her mental health, it did kind of irk me because it's like you people did not care at all about Taylor's mental health. I don't think I genuinely don't think some of these people have realized how badly they've affected Taylor's mental health. I think they're delusional idiots that don't realize it. But I mean, Paloma had to go. Like, as someone who detested the way she was playing the game, I wanted Paloma gone. And then I became someone who realized she was having actual mental, she was having a mental break. And as someone who has struggled with their own mental health, for that reason, I wanted her out of the house. So yeah, I went from wanting Paloma gone to needing Paloma gone, like for her own health. Now, because she left, this of course threw the whole backstage twist into limbo. It's like, what's going to happen? And everyone was just trying to figure out how's this going to work now. No one even really knew how it was going to work normally, but seeing it play out the way it did, like they could not have predicted that. I mean, Big Brother is known for having some twists flop, but this was a special kind of flop because the odds were minuscule that it could go like this. But yeah, what it would have how it would have worked is that Brittany got the most votes between the three of them, her, Paloma, and Alyssa, which I knew would happen because everyone was pulling for Brittany. And what would have happened is everyone would have voted between Taylor and Terrence, and it would have been Taylor. It just it would have been, and then they would have voted between um, Paloma and Alyssa as to who would be who would face off against Taylor to remain in the house. So they would have had to choose between Paloma and Alyssa. And I think with how well positioned Paloma was, I think that Alyssa would have been voted out. And in the next HOH competition, Taylor and Alyssa were put against each other, and Taylor won. So Taylor was not going to leave anyway. It would have been Alyssa, and she would have just been. That would have been like a head spinning moment for her. It was like, wait, I was just in the game a second ago. Like I mean, I know they never had safety, the backstage people, but that definitely would have felt like a harsh turn of events. But yeah, didn't play out that way. I'm drinking milk, by the way, in case you were wondering. Yes, I know it's hot. I probably shouldn't be drinking milk, but whatever. Now, the competition that they would have done was an obstacle course, and it was repurposed into the HOH competition. Uh, the 14 people competing would have gone against each other in 7 head-to-head matches. And I saw Michael and Taylor advance, They were the first two to get through. Like, that's awesome. Joseph got through. It's like, whatever. There's going to be a couple people we didn't care for. And another one that got through was Jasmine. And then, oh, wait, hold on. First. Her foot touched the ground. Okay? Watch the footage. She kicked up some confetti. A lot of people are like, it was just her foot blowing it. It was just a breeze. She got that confetti a couple inches off the ground. Her foot isn't a fan. Okay? It wouldn't have it wouldn't have picked the confetti up like a helicopter landing in the desert, and that's just all the sand coming up. No, no, she 100% touched the ground, and then she fell because that's karma. Karma for how you treated Taylor, karma for cheating and not getting called on it. I remember thinking, if she becomes HOH, this would just be the biggest insult. Like there would be such an asterisk next to her name, and wouldn't you know it? She becomes HOH. And oh, the HOH-itis set in immediately. Her and Monty just went immediately into trash talking Taylor even more. Like, gee, I wonder what's gonna happen now. So exciting. And then she just had to be waited on hand and foot. Like, it wasn't like I can't believe I'm about to use Christmas as the better example of anything. But Christmas, like, fractured her ankle. Jasmine got a sprain. Like, literally all Jasmine would probably need is to just like put some ice on it for a while. I listen. I don't normally condone accusing people of faking their injuries. I think that's not a good mentality. That's not a good default to go to just assume they're faking it just to get out of doing things. So I do not say this lightly when I say that I think Jasmine is faking it. Yeah, there it is. I said it. I think Jasmine is faking. I don't think she needs the cart, the scooter thing that Christmas had. And I certainly don't think she needed Nicole to wipe her butt for her. Seriously. Nicole said she wiped Jasmine's butt. Like, Jasmine, your hands still work. As long as you have one hand that still works, you can do it. That blew my mind. Like, this girl has gotten out of wiping her own butt. Anyway, obviously, Jasmine wants to put up Taylor because she's small, petty, and insecure. And Pooch is like, I'm going to volunteer myself as a nominee. And, Jasmine was like considering it at first, but he just kept telling everybody in the house that he was going to do it. And it became like, for Jasmine, she's like, well, I guess I have to do it now. And with him doing this, Amira leads the charge, and Alyssa and Indy are with her pretty tightly as well to make him the target because they think he is a bigger threat physically than Taylor would be. Even though Pooch also has not won anything. I mean, the backstage boss thing, but that was chance. So yeah, they work hard. They put in the work, and they actually get Jasmine to agree that he should be the target. But it's obvious that Jasmine still wants Taylor as the backup in case he wins the veto or has the veto used on him. And In the talk of who'd be the replacement, Brittany was the most common name thrown around, but Turner's name came up as well. Uh, Daniel, Smelvis. Um, he did seem willing, and to be fair, still does seem willing to vote Pooch out. He did start saying, like, you know, I don't really vibe with the guys all that much. I'd rather take out all these alpha dudes. And I'm like, you had your chance. You didn't do it. So, So it's like he's on board with the plan, but he just can't stop talking about Taylor. Can't stop. And he, like, at one point he thought she was following him. I'm like, dude, you're not the real Elvis. You're Smelvis. The women aren't throwing themselves at you. Honestly, he looks like if Elvis was popular in the mid 2000s and he was an emo singer. Like that would be that's Daniel's version of Elvis. Emo Elvis. And another light flicker. Cool. It's the air conditioner is like making a power surge, I guess. I hate this house too. Anyway, um, so Mira starts talking to Michael, and they're like, "Yeah, Pooch has to go," and they also bring up Joseph and Turner, and I'm like, "Okay, yes, these are people that nobody likes. Like they're finally getting a sense of who the internet is and is not interested in. Kind of. Well, they're getting a sense of who they're not interested in. They don't realize that we're interested in Taylor. And both of them agree they want to bring the women along for as long as they can. But Amira tells him not to use the veto if he wins it. And well, yeah. Daniel and Nicole are talking, and they blame Taylor for Paloma's mental breakdown. I'm like, no, that's Paloma not being properly checked. And Nicole went as far as to say that Taylor should have gone through it instead. Like, you all were trying. Like, 12 people in that house were trying with all their might to make Taylor snap. And, she was upset. She cried a few times. But she didn't break. You know? Like, they tried and they failed. And they're upset that they failed. Taylor's just stronger than they want her to be. Did I even? I haven't said the word microaggression once. I don't know how, but I mean that was part of what was being talked about. Like that's why Variety and the Today Show got involved, talking about all the microaggressions going on in the house towards Taylor, and they're just saying, "Oh, she's gonna snap if you put her up. She's gonna be so aggressive." Like, come on. But yes, um, the nominees are Pooch and Taylor. Surprising nobody. A lot of people were hoping maybe we can get Turner up against Pooch to ensure that Pooch goes home, or at least Pooch's closest ally. But I was like, people, it's not happening. At least I think there were people saying that before the noms happened. I don't know. I took a lot of notes, but not that much, I guess. Oh, yeah. Amira, Amira. I am trying so hard to admire Amira's game because she's playing hard. I'm telling you right now, if it weren't for her for her being as much on the Taylor hate train as everybody else. I would have her as one of my favorites in this house because Amira's playing the game, but like whenever she starts talking about Taylor, her good game sense just it's gone. And she decides to tell Monty, and then Alyssa, who was in on this plan with her too, Alyssa tells Kyle, Amira and Alyssa tell those guys that Taylor wants a strong man out. And I'm like, why would you tell them this? Like, keep your mouths shut. You're just going to make them campaign harder against Taylor. Sorry, my nose always gets itchy when I'm streaming. It's a neurological thing, I guess. That has to be. I don't know why. So, after this, though, Amira and Nicole, they start insisting to Monty that Pooch has to go. And, like, he's not on board with it at all. Like, he is going hard defending Pooch. And it was getting really weird. Like, you've known this guy a week and a half at this point. Like, calm down. And, you know, like, they're telling him this, that Pooch is a target. I'm just like, why did you tell him what Taylor said? Like, you don't have to blab every bit of information you people get. The same thing happened to Brittany. Like, she gave up some information and got ratted out immediately. She told, I think it was Pooch. She told something and it got back to, like, the rest of the women. Brittany made it into the Girls Alliance, which is, every woman except Taylor and Nicole. And, like, it formed because of their dislike and distrust of Taylor. Like, this isn't really the girl power serve you want it to be. But yeah, it's like Taylor's just getting ratted out again. It's like, come on, people, retain some information. Keep some cards close to your chest and show them when the time is right. So yeah, they're going in trying to convince Monty, and he's pushing back. Like, it just has to be Pooch. Pooch has to stay. But the women are like, Pooch is gonna come for the women, and like it's becoming guys versus girls, and I'm like, we don't have to do this, okay? So it was getting annoying, but like the men are definitely more gung ho about it. The women, okay, the women trying to gang up on the men, I can kind of understand. I mean, the last three winners of the show have been men, so I get it. But it's like these guys are just so alpha and they're just throwing out, and I'm like, I hate almost all of them. Like, I like Michael. Michael's the only man in the house I like. But they're able to get through to him by telling him, Taylor's next, and whether or not he is on board with that. I mean, whether or not they mean that, I mean, he's definitely on board with it. But whether or not they're on board with it, I don't know. Okay, I just got a notification for something I never use on my phone, and I've never got a notification for. Only when I'm streaming does this weird stuff happen. So, it comes time to pick players for the veto, and it's three people that played last week: Amira, Michael, Terrence, plus of course Jasmine, Taylor, and Pooch. HOH are the nominees. That's a given. And Michael tells Taylor that if he can let her win veto, then he will. But I'm just thinking anybody but Pooch. Obviously I wanted Taylor the most, but It seemed like everybody else would just keep it the same, and Pooch would still be the target. And it's like, okay, I can live with this. Just it could not be Pooch that won. And Michael wins his second veto win. And, my immediate response is that I'm happy for him because I like him. He's my favorite guy in the house by far. But then I started realizing what a risky position he's in because, first of all, second win, and he's won the first two vetoes. Derek X did last season, and he ended up in just 10th place because they viewed him as too much of a threat. And Sam, BB21, won the first two vetoes. He only came in 12th. Didn't even make jury. Although he wasn't really taken out for being a threat as much as because he was close to Nick, who was the real target that week, but Nick won the veto, so they just took out Sam instead. But yeah, Michael was in a risky position for that, and he did. I think I saw something about him telling Taylor that he would use it on her if he won it, but I don't know if he can because I don't think that's a good move for him. He's in a precarious position here. Like if he pulls Taylor off and no one else, like no one wants him to do that, he's going to become a threat even sooner. So, he's definitely he's got to watch for that. And if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm going to say there's about an 85% chance that he does not use the veto. He just leaves him the same. But I do believe that he is firmly on board to vote Pooch out, at least right now. It's still 5 days away, so it's going to be a long 5 days, I'll tell you that. Now, Nicole, she says that she wants to win HOH to take out Turner, and I'm like, I would enjoy this more if you weren't blaming Taylor for Paloma's mental state and wishing Paloma's mental state on Taylor. But yeah, I don't like Turner. Like I said, he's from my home state. Wanted to like him, but he's gross. Apparently, he hasn't showered in 4 days. Like you can't do that when you're living with that many people. You just can't. Amira says she doesn't want him or Joseph to win HOH, and that's a fair point because their HOH would basically be the same as each other. But they don't say that they should be the next two, per se. They say that one should go next, and then it should be Brittany or Indy that goes. Now, I'm trying to think that this is them. Like, I don't know if this is that they want to do that themselves, or if they like if a man wins HOH, then sacrifice one of them. But then Amira says that Taylor also shouldn't win, and I'm like, you were so close to having a conversation without talking about her. Like that's Amira's Achilles heel right there. Taylor, her obsession with Taylor. I mean, if Amira does outlast Taylor, which I'm being realistic here, there's a very good chance of that. I think Amira will be a better player once Taylor is gone, but I won't enjoy it because you know she was just so irritating about it the whole time. Now, with um, Michael winning, um, Pooch goes to talk to him, and during the conversation and after, Pooch just starts spiraling because he's starting to realize he might actually be the target now. And he just starts throwing every name under the bus. He's like, you know, if we gotta get a strong competitor like Monty out, then you know it is what it is. And I'm just thinking back to how hard Monty was simping for him this morning. And it's like, this is what you get, Monty. Like let's talk about it. People have dug up Pooch's old social media tweets, and he has been fairly liberal with the N word before. Well, I mean, he's used it at least once that I know of. Now, like I don't want to always assume that everyone is who they are, like they're the same person as they were on their stupid social media posts from 10 years ago. Because I'll tell you something, 10 years ago, social media was a stupid, stupid place. It was. But that's what Facebook Memories is for. I look through that every day to look for my old posts and get rid of the stupid ones. I do it all the time. Pooch definitely should have done that before he got here. And, I don't want to automatically assume he's the same guy, but, he's just, he just has such a bro attitude. He's got an ego to him. Like, he just doesn't seem to have a lot of respect for anybody, really, that isn't a bro. And I mean, yeah, Monty's a bro, but, you know, Turner is like Pooch's closest ally in the house. And Turner and Monty, uh, they look a little different from each other. And of course, there is the fact that Pooch was one of the first people to say that Taylor's going to blow up when she gets nominated. Like, that's a straight up microaggression right there. So, yeah, is he outright saying racial slurs racist? No, but he's more subtle about it, I think. I've met a lot of subtle racists in my life, and Pooch fits the bill. Sassy sip. All right. Well, those are all the notes in my phone. I see that I have one viewer here. Hello, whoever you are. If you are my my loyal follower who actually doesn't watch Big Brother but just watches all my stuff, thank you for being here. All right, this is the part where I look to see what has happened since I've been streaming in the past 39 minutes. Well, I follow Cat from BB24 on Twitter. Apparently, Indy said "Are you conspiring against me? Are you bees conspiring against me?" line. There is. Before I check any more updates, I just want to go through where the votes seem to stand right now. So, to a vote. Oh God, no, I said it. Oh, I said a vote. I didn't mean to. I swear. It was not as a shout out to that man. I hate Derek Frazier. Oh God. Oh, I want to delete this footage now. I can't. To evict Pooch, the votes right now are Amira, Alyssa, Indy, Michael, Daniel, Nicole, and just needs to be six, and Jasmine breaks the tie. You and we can't really rely on that too much. Uh, Mira, Alyssa, Indy, Nicole, Michael, Brittany, or if because like Brittany is probably the most likely replacement nominee if the veto does get used. So that would just be Taylor, number seven. But either way, that's seven right there. Uh, and I think Terrence is on board as well. So let's say eight. And the four to evict, vote to evict Taylor would be Monty, Turner, Joseph, Kyle. Wait, no. I got that wrong. I got that wrong because I keep forgetting Kyle is here. Kyle is on board to vote Pooch out, and Terrence is the fourth vote at the moment to uh, to vote out Taylor. But again, we have 5 days to go. It could all change. Well, BB updates hasn't updated in 2 hours, so let's check the hashtag. That wasn't me picking my nose. I'm just itchy. Oh, Jasmine saying she doesn't like when people judge. They could have judged Indy for not knowing a lot of English, even though Indy's English is fine. Like, yeah, she has an accent, but she speaks English just fine. You have to get to know people. Don't just judge off of anything. Like, Jasmine, your whole personality since you've been here has been hating Taylor. The only reason you agreed to put up Pooch was peer pressure because you're weak. Luckily, I don't really mind too much that she's doing what the house wants because the house wants to vote out Pooch and keep Taylor, at least at the moment. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. I don't mind. Like, I'll straight up say it. I don't care if it's a house vote, if it's against someone I don't like. So yeah, and this is just Turner all the time. He's just standing around, and this is why he's started to come up as a potential replacement nominee. Crap, I screwed up the color. I'm orange again. Uh, I'm just gonna do this like impersonating Kyle in the first competition. Fixed it last time, so I'm just gonna be like, "Will it work?" Dang it! Am I just orange now? Well, it's my orange shirt. Maybe if I get up, it'll like readjust. I don't know. I'm a mess, and I can't even find any more big goings on in the house. Like what? Oh, smell this. I mean, this seems to have been taken as a joke, but he said, "Chef, like we all know Chef Boyardee." Well, Daniel said Chef Boyard. Well, it's not the N word, but it's I can say this word. Negro. That's what Daniel said. Can I? Uh, yeah, it's it's Spanish for black, so it's not a slur. But Yeah, what Daniel said. That's a little racist. And like none of them seem to have a problem with it. Oh, but a lot of people are saying Monty said it. I don't know. I can't tell. Well, yeah, well, more people are just talking about Taylor. Just they just keep bringing her up because they're obsessed. It's like, come on, people, leave her alone. Yeah, I'm not really finding too much, but that's just another reason for me to hate Smelvis. I mean, like everyone in there laughed, but they're not the only ones in there. I mean, they are, but they're not the only ones listening. People on the internet might not appreciate that. Really, it took taking a sip to make me un-orange myself. Anyway, uh, that's all I got. Um, yeah, I'm at the point where there's only four people in the house that I like. Taylor, Indy, she's moved up fast because like she doesn't really care. She'll just say anything, and I kind of love it. Michael and Brittany, who I admit is not playing very well because she keeps telling the wrong people the wrong things. But like again, she's just someone else that gets ratted out immediately. Like anything she says to anybody. Like her and Turner supposedly are pretty tight, but he's ratting out her secrets. So yeah, it's nice of him. But yes, Taylor, Indy, Michael, Brittany. I can pretty safely say that once the four of them are gone, I'm gone too, because I don't want to watch any of these people after that. In fact, I'm probably gonna just block all of them on social media immediately. Like, I don't want anything. I don't want to hear anything from these people, and I especially don't want to hear next season when there's controversy. These people start talking about what's going on. They're trying to be like, well, they need to be more respectful, have more sensitivity. I'm like, shut up. 12 of you were on a mission to bully a woman out of the house. Just so happened that one of her bullies went insane with jealousy and took herself out of the house. But yeah, those are my core four. Once they're out, so am I. Um, I don't think Taylor is going to last much longer. Just no one, no one will give her the time of day. I think everyone is obsessed with her. They all seem to hate her, and for her own mental health, I want Taylor to be free of them at some point because she's not gonna win. Even if she wins her way to the final two, she will be defeated by a petty jury. And that's just a fact. Uh, Indy, I could see lasting a while. I could see her kind of skating by, and I do see her winning one or two competitions along the way. Everyone seems to enjoy her. I just, I don't see her getting taken out too soon. I can see her at least making jury. Michael, I think, will make jury, but I think he'll be an early juror, like first or second. He'll probably come in about 10th, like Derek X did. Because Yeah, winning the first two vetoes, he's putting a target on himself. Apparently, it was really close between him and Taylor, and he supposedly could have thrown it to her. I don't know if that's true or not, but he didn't. So, yeah. Um, and Brittany, honestly, I feel like Brittany's not long for the house either. I feel like she just everything she tells anybody is forwarded along. Like when it comes to the people we really like those are the top four on the daily polls, and they're probably going to stay there for a while. But yeah, it's like anytime there's any information that they share with someone, they get ratted out immediately. Especially Taylor and Brittany. I just hope that Pooch keeps spiraling and talks himself right out of the house. Like, I really hope Monty finds out that he threw his name under the bus after everything Monty did trying to keep him in the game. That's what I want to see. But yeah, let this be a lesson to all future Big Brother players. Don't volunteer yourself as a nominee, ever. Even in the beginning when you think you're totally safe. But yeah, um, that'll do it for this stream. Thank you to my one viewer for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. You can follow me on Twitch. Mount Rudmore is the name. And yeah, I will be back next time I have stuff to say and stuff I want to talk about that doesn't make me upset because this season has already been not good for my mental health. Not because of Paloma, but because of Taylor. Not, I mean, what's happened to Taylor, not Taylor herself. But yeah, uh, that'll do it. Peace out.